Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today we're going across the pond to my old home to talk to one of my good buddies who I met at Celebration, who we've been trying to get on for ages and goddamn time zones and all that kind of stuff. But finally, it's happened. For the Scruffy Lookin podcasters, it's the artist extraordinaire himself, Chris Hall. How you going, man?
How's it going, dude? I'm good.
glad you could finally come on. Now, in your honour, I don't know if you can see this. I've got my Yorkshire tea here.
Yes, got my Yorkshire Gold, Josh, ready.
Oh, beautiful!
Happy days.
Cop that, Charlie Ashby, with your Tetley nonsense. The tea wars have started again.
Oh, straight in the bag there. I wondered if Charlie had come up with this Tetley rubbish.
Well, everyone's got their
straight
own brand.
In.
Yeah, everyone has.
We
their own
love you,
brand.
Charlie, but. We love you, Charlie, but Yorkshire or nothing, mate. Sorry.
Now, we have been trying to do this for a while, but you're in basically the UK is the least friendly time zone for Australia. It's pretty much opposite land. So, you know, Yorkshire tea at 9 in the morning, what it is here, perfectly acceptable. 10 o'clock at night, that's all right. That doesn't keep you up. You have a nice cup of tea before.
That's all right. I'm nearly 40 now. I'll be up a few times at night, but, you know.
to go to the bathroom and, you know, work out the kinks. All that kind of stuff.
Normally I have my last one about 9 o'clock, but just for you, Josh, I thought I'd get a brew on.
Oh, that's very nice. I can't do it. I can't do tea like after about 7 o'clock. I just keep up. I'm rubbish with caffeine. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I just, you know, if you give me a Coca-Cola, I'm flying. You know, it's. Now we met at Celebration. And we sort of interacted a little bit of the old Twitter interactions and stuff before we got to meet in person, though. But the thing is, like, I lived in England for 10 years. So anytime I meet a British person, I get so excited because I love the British people. I consider myself, I'm half British. I got a UK passport. The demeanor, I just light up whenever, I can talk to a British person a certain way. So when I saw you, I'm just like, all right, all right,
exactly, mate.
All right, mate. You know exactly what I was talking about. So when I see you and Charlie and Strut, he's British as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Dave Strut is. Yeah,
he's kind of a bit fake though, isn't he? Because he resides in the US now.
Yeah,
he's run off. But no, so I get all excited when I get to interact with British people again. So, and when we sort of met at Celebration and stuff, you weren't even podcasting then, so that's all picked up the last few months, hasn't it? Were you doing Scruffy podcasters at Celebration? No,
because I met them at Celebration.
Yeah,
on the first night. It was weird because Dallas. I'd spoke to Dallas about going to like some sports event while I was in America. I don't even like sports, but it's like while I'm there, I'd never been to America before. I thought I've got to go and do something like cool, like just for the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So we went to the Cubs game, and there was a big group of like it was totally overwhelming. It was a nice precursor actually to that
meeting
that
everyone.
Thursday. Yeah, because I met everyone at the game. Like Claire was there and Dallas and Rashad and Justin, and I was being introduced to everyone, like the people that I didn't know, and I met this guy called Kev. And I was like, all right, mate. He's like, all right, mate. And we've got exactly the same voice. I was like, where are you from? He's like, Nottingham. Where are you from? Nottingham. What? And it turns out we live like 15 minutes away from each other.
It's like army buddies or something, isn't it? Like in a different life, you'd be stationed somewhere. You'd be like, you hear the accent. You're like, all right, mate. Where are you from? Nottingham. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it immediately put me at ease because I was like, oh, brilliant. Someone like from my way.
He speaks English.
Yeah. So after the game, we ended up going back to Echo Base.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the Scruffy guys were staying on the top floor.
Yeah. Yep.
So before I know it, I was on their podcast, and then after Celebration, we hung about during Celebration on and off, and then after Celebration, I met up with Kev a few times, and I kept guesting, and then I never left really.
You just weaseled your way in, basically. That's the way to. That's the best way to do it, though, isn't it? You just make yourself
Yeah.
part of the furniture. Yeah. Well, we met. I don't know. Did you guys go to the bar, the hotel bar afterwards, after the baseball?
No,
Yeah, because that's
no, that was the where Hawes was staying.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I never went across there.
Yeah, we went
No.
down there the first night because we had the Australians and we were near Echo Base. And people who've heard this have heard this before. And then we went around to Echo Base and a bunch of guys were at the baseball. And then some of them went off to the hotel, and that was good because we just met everybody before celebration. It was just good to meet, before like having to worry about trying to meet people at celebration. You got to meet them sort of the night before and stuff, which was cool. But yeah, like you were kicking around with Dallas and all those guys, and we crossed paths, and the ears prick up, the accent pricks up, you start chatting away, and we started hanging out and having a great old time. And then I remember one of the first things that you said to me was, you've gone, Catherine, our friend Catherine, who's on the show all the time. I've got this for her. I've got a special gift for her. I've got you tell the story, mate. It was...
Yeah, so I bought all sorts of stuff, like artworks and stuff to give away. But I'd specifically bought a Cassian piece that I'd done just for Catherine.
Yeah.
Because I know she obviously loves him, doesn't she?
Yeah, yeah. So she was very chuffed with that. And I have been around to Catherine's place since. I popped in before we went and saw Rise of Skywalker, and there was a lovely framed Chris Hall original there in the house, looking very nice.
I got a brilliant photo of us both, me and Catherine, when she's got that picture, and her face just lights up. I love Catherine. She's brilliant.
Yeah, so I remember seeing that going like, I like this bloke. He's, does his research, does some incredible artwork as well. So we should start with the artwork, basically. Now, anybody who knows you in the Star Wars world has seen your awesome stuff on Bad Motivators t-shirts for more than anything. Did you do the Dad Motivators one?
Yes.
With the Ron Swanson R5 droids?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's guilty. Guilty as charged. Yes.
I wear that one quite a lot. My daughter loves that one because she goes, "Oh, look, the robot's having a pee or doing wheeze." She thinks that's hilarious. So Chris's stuff has turned up on Bad Motivator t-shirts, but he's got all his own store and does all his own stuff as well. So I did see you were working on a Kylo. Is that the current piece at the moment?
Yeah, I just done a Ben Solo one. And I did a couple of Baby Yodas as well that I posted the other day.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're hot. Get them while they're hot. You must
I know,
be loving
yeah.
it. When something like Baby Yoda comes out, you must be going, oh, yeah, man. This is, I can jump on this.
But I get excited, but equally frustrated because as a parent yourself, like finding spare time's hard, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because my eldest one's 10 now, and she just refuses to go to bed at night, and is like a proper teenager before her time. So by the time I've battled bedtime with a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old, I just want to sit on my arse and chill out. But I've got all this creative stuff that I need to get out. So
yeah,
the more and more while Mando was happening, I was like, I need to draw Mando. I need to draw Baby Yoda. I need to do IG-11, and it's just finding time, isn't it?
Well, at least now
it gets dead frustrating. Sorry, because you log online and you see all this amazing artwork and stuff that other people are doing. And I'm like, oh, I've got to get that Baby Yoda out. I've got to get that Baby Yoda out.
I've got to get him on a shirt quick. Well, at least now, because we're a little break. We'll get into sort of state of Star Wars and stuff in a minute now. But, Mando's done. Movies are done for a bit. So it does give you a chance to sit back, exhale, and you can kind of pick and choose your characters. It's not like, like you said, Mandalorian comes out. There's an episode every week. All of a sudden, it's like, all right, well, there's Cara Dune's out now. And then this person's out. Then this person's out. And this person's out. I gotta get this stuff all rolling. But do you have time for anything apart from Star Wars now? Are you going to pivot from Star Wars for a bit, or because I've seen Dark Crystal, and you've done all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah, so I'm well into Dark Crystal. If you look on my Instagram and on my go on my Etsy store, I've got all sorts of stuff on there, like Harry Potter and a few Marvel bits and bobs. But it's mainly Star Wars because that's my
That's your
my main
jam.
thing. Yeah.
That's a jammy jam. Now, let's talk Turkey. Let's talk a bit of Rise of Skywalker. Now, I have a confession to make, and I am way behind on podcasts at the moment because I've been on holiday because it's summer here. So I haven't been listening to all my podcasts, and I'm actually off work at the moment, so I'm not at my desk listening. That's what I do on my best listening. So I'm not caught up on Scruffy, so I don't know where you're at with Rise of Skywalker. I know nothing. What was your opening night jam? What did you do opening night? Did you go midnight? Did you go after work? Go with some mates? How did it play out?
Yes, so I went opening night, midnight. I've done that for all of the new ones. And so we've got a little crew that started off for Force Awakens, and it's gradually got bigger and bigger like each time with each movie. And it turns out that because I didn't know Kev, like obviously when this new Star Wars journey started, obviously through doing Scruffies, we've become really good mates. But he's got his like separate viewing crew to me.
Yep.
When they do all the midnight screenings, but we actually arranged to go to the same cinema. He was like up in Sheffield. He went to the big IMAX, and I was in the screen next door.
Oh, right. You can like bang on the wall.
Yeah, so he did the triple bill, which was like Force Awakens, Last Jedi.
Oh, wow.
And it started at like 6 p.m. and like worked. There was like a 20-minute gap in between each one, all at the IMAX. And then just before when Last Jedi finished, he came out and we had a little chat in the foyer, like, and then went in. But yeah, for this one, I went in. I stayed away from as much stuff as I could.
Yep. It's hard when you got a podcast,
was only
isn't it? Like, it's hard because people want to talk and people want to tell you stuff, and you're just like, no, you just gotta be really upfront. Like, don't tell me anything. I'll close my ears up. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I logged off like when the TV spots started coming out, and then you can start piecing bits together, can't you? Like, I know that they're there, which that means that happens there, and so I logged off on that, and I'd stayed away from all rumours this time. There's one thing I got spoiled, like a photo made it onto my Twitter feed, which was really annoying.
Right, so you had Kev next door. Could you hear his screams from the other cinema while the movie was going on? Or
that's funny because we talked about beforehand if he'd be able to hear me scream when I saw Wicket, because that was one of my big things going in, because I'm a big Ewok guy.
Did you have that spoiled before you went in?
There was that behind the scenes video where it showed Warwick Davis for a split second, didn't it?
Yeah, why? Why show it? Why?
I don't know, because I expected it to be a lot more than what we actually got.
Yeah, me too. I was a bit. I'd kind of forgotten about it as the film went on, and then when we got to the end and we saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, there's supposed to be Ewoks. Like, there's Ewoks in this. That's all right. Well, I guess it's there." But I was fully going like, "Oh right, we're back on Endor. They're going to interact with Ewoks," but didn't happen. So, what was your verdict on the Rise of Skywalker?
So, I went in not knowing anything. And I'll preface this because I went into The Last Jedi. I'd basically spent 2 years listening to Steele talk about bloody Ignite the Green. And I'd gone in expecting all this stuff. And when it didn't happen, it totally threw me, and it was like a really weird experience, and it took me quite a few views to get into The Last Jedi, and I love it now. It's brilliant.
Yep.
But it took me a while. So if this one, I wanted to go in. I was like, it's the last one. I just want to go in, have fun. Fandom's obviously become what it has over the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. I wanted to leave all that baggage at the door and just let it flow over me. Yeah. Just grab some popcorn and let's do it. And as soon as the crawl came on, the dead speak, within the first minute, we're like, Palpatine's there. I was like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Okay. I guess this is it.
Yeah. So I just sat back and I loved it. I really like it.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
I've seen it 7 times now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's impressive.
And that's great. I'm well into it.
So
But the Ray Palpatine thing, that's the one thing I can do without, but it doesn't ruin it for me.
So what was the general ssort of vibe when you got out of the cinema? Did you sort of catch up with Kev and his mates and stuff? And was everyone sort of buzzing, or was a few people kind of like, I don't know, man? Sort of was it sort of that midnight adrenaline? Everyone's a bit sort of wired and.
Yeah, so Kev, we got like 20 minutes of adverts before it started, but Kev started bang on midnight, and he was waiting for me in the foyer, and when I didn't come out, he actually came into my screening, and there was about 15 minutes left. So he was like, I'm not going to hang about. So I didn't get to talk to Kev until the next day. But everyone in my viewing party, like, we were all buzzing. We thought it was great.
Yep. It's
but it is strange, isn't it, with that like midnight screening when you're wired and you've just seen like so much stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? Because it's like 3 a.m. and you just feel dead disorientated.
Yeah. So we had, as people have heard on the reaction pod, we had some of the geek dudes around, and Andy and Catherine, and we all went out the front and had a bit of a chat and stuff. And yeah, it's that sort of. People are a bit not quite sure what to make of it and stuff. And now that the dust has settled, I think, everyone's sort of landed where they feel about the film. Some people are a bit bummed. Some people love it. It's just weird. There's just no consistency. That's the thing I keep coming back to. It's not like I can point to, like if I just saw a person I know, in the fandom and our friends and stuff, and they didn't tell me whether they liked it or not, I just wouldn't know. That's why I had to ask you. I'm like, I don't know. Like I got no idea. I'm like, I can't go, oh, he liked this or he didn't like this before, so he's going to like it. It's such a it's
really, weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird. Where the other Scruffy boys land on it?
We all like it.
Yeah,
yeah. I think Kev likes it most out of everyone. He thinks outside of the original trilogy, it's his favourite.
Yeah, right.
Which is, it's just for me, it's like fandom's trying its hardest to make me not like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's just some fandom. Like it's just It's partially the movie, but it's partially what everybody brings to the movie as well. Like, I've just been listening to Geek Dudes and listening to our buddy Chris Fresh talk about it, and he was disappointed with the movie, but he's been very just like, hey, I was pumped for it and it didn't work for me, so I'm bummed. And that's fine.
Yeah,
this one didn't work. But then you sort of other people or people online and just like, oh, if this didn't happen, you have to bring this, you have to bring this, you got to bring this, you got to bring this, and there's like all the, the Raylos and the Ben Demptioners and the anti-Raylos and the anti-Last Jedi people and the this people and this people, and it's just it's just a lot of pressure to put on a film. I think just because it's the last one too, everybody just wants it to be what they want it to be.
And I'm so happy that I went in with that. Like no expectations, and I think that's why it's worked for me. It's just fun. I'm just having a good time with it every time I watch it. It's real good fun, and I get the flaws, and I understand a lot of people's gripes with it. But for me, I'm just enjoying it. It works for me.
Do you think this this J.J. Abrams cut exists? Like I don't think that there's like I don't think that. He made a cut of the movie and Disney secretly cut a movie somewhere else and put it out. No. But I mean, like any movie, you do assembly cuts and then you cut it down, you cut it down, you cut it down, you cut it down, cut it down until you get it ready to release. Like I'm sure there is a 3.5 version of the movie that is from ages ago that they've just cut down. But
yeah,
I don't think there's some perfect finished version. I don't think it's like a Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings extended cut kind of thing sitting out there waiting to happen.
I don't know if I'd want to see it if there was.
Yeah, does it really work for Star Wars though? I mean, I guess the special editions technically are a little bit longer in places, but it's more special effects rather than like padding out scenes. Like somebody was asking me about it, and I said, I think people think it's like the Peter Jackson thing, where like really early on they were just saying, hey, we've got a 3-hour cut, but actually we've got like a friggin' 4-hour one that we're going to bring out on Blu-ray later on that you'll be able to buy. And they were pretty upfront about that. But that also like had source material that was right there that people were like, hey, I want to see this. There's these definite things. this is all just like speculation. People are just going like, you could bring out the JJ 4-hour cut, and people are like, "Oh God, like what'd you put that in there for?" Or I didn't want that. Like you made it worse.
Yeah,
Twice as long and three times as bad. But
the only thing I could possibly want is more Babu Frick.
yeah, like a bit of Babu
Yeah,
Frick.
if you're gonna stick half an hour more of Babu Frick in it, I'm all down for that.
Just like him, going about his day, just
Oh, he's great, isn't he?
And
Yeah.
he's awesome.
Hey!
That is so British. Like the first time I saw that, it just reminded me of like it was like a video, like a behind the scenes video or something. It was like Oasis in like 94, 95, and they've just turned up somewhere and they're all like, "Hey!" It's so British. It's just like the boys out, lads. It's just and I think the lady who does his voice is British. I think it's the lady from Harry Potter, like Moaning Myrtle or something.
Yeah, Moaning Myrtle, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, she's probably been down the pub a few times and heard, "Hey!"
Yeah. The droid, it go black.
You've done a Babu Frick, haven't you? Have you done one?
Yes. Yeah, I did one I did it for Inktober when I was doing like loads of creatures. I did a different creature every day in October as part of the Inktober challenge. And I think it was like the second day in, and they released that first photo of him, and I was like, right, that's tomorrow's picture. That's that sorted.
He must be a good one to draw too. He's got a lot of sort of interesting detail and stuff going on too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to draw and stuff when I was younger. I used to be pretty good cartoon stuff, but I just like digital just completely killed my ability to draw basically, because I pivoted to becoming a sort of graphic design, digital designer. But creatures a little bit more leeway than people, for accuracy. You get a little bit more. If you make Kylo Ren's face look a bit weird, people are gonna pull you up on your shit pretty quick. But you can get away with a bit on Babu Frick.
Yeah, you put the wrong creases on Rancor's skin, it's like, it's fine. She's just like,
yeah,
they're all the same, aren't they?
If you give Ray's face looks all munted, all of a sudden people get a little bit upset.
Yeah, monsters and creatures. Yeah, that's my way.
That's your jam, bit of monsters and creatures.
Yeah.
So any more Babu Frick? You reckon you want to do another one? Like you could do a Wahey Babu Frick print. People go nuts for that.
Yeah, there might be one in the works already.
I don't want to spoil anything. So you done Rise of Skywalker? You sent it. Is it still playing? It must still be. It's still around.
It's still playing. I've got two older brothers who grew up on Star Wars just like I did, but obviously got on with the rest of their lives and don't sit around talking to people on the other side of the world every week.
Bunch of losers.
And my oldest brother actually texted me on Friday when I got back from my last viewing, and he said, "I'm ashamed to say that I've not seen The Rise of Skywalker yet. Are you interested in going this week?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? I'll do another one."
Yeah, nice.
So I'm going again on Wednesday.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, well, I'm on parental leave for 3 months at the moment. So, but the bonus is that both my girls are in childcare a few days a week, and you have to basically get them in from the start of the year. You got to book them in from the start. You can't just sort of pick halfway through the year when you want to put them in. So I've got 2 days in the middle of the week, today and tomorrow, where I've got no kids in the house. So it's just like me, which is unheard of. I haven't had time to myself in years. So
it's outrageous.
I know, it's outrageous. So I went to the movie last week. I went and saw Jojo Rabbit, which was brilliant. Just like going to the movies in the daytime, I just couldn't believe it. I was waiting for the police to come and tell me off. Like why aren't you looking after your kids? Why aren't you waiting for the phone to ring in case your kids are in trouble? So I could potentially go, because it's morning here. I could potentially go and see Star Wars. I could sign off to you, get in the car, go watch Star Wars. So I might.
So how many viewings have you done, Josh?
I've done 4. So I did the midnight. I did the day after that, and then the day after. So I saw it 3 times in 3 days. Technically, I saw it twice in one day. I just realised, because I did midnight, and then I went in the afternoon with Catherine and Dale, friends of the show.
Yeah, I did that.
So I did technically see it twice in a day. Yeah, and then I went on the Friday with my partner and my best mate and his kids and stuff, and then I went last last weekend or the weekend before, my best mate wanted to go see it again, so we went and saw it again. So, yeah, we've talked about sort of the crew down here in Melbourne doing at least one more, but
And where are you with it? Are you?
I like it. I like the other two better. I think
Yeah.
they're better made films. Like I said, I can live with the flaws. I keep putting in sort of like giving it real world excuses. You know what I mean? Like, change of directors, Carrie passing away, rush schedules, changes of writers. Like, I kind of give it that sort of real world apology of things. But I can certainly, whenever somebody, I accept a lot of the criticisms of the movie as itself. You know what I mean? Like, if someone just goes, "Oh, it did this," or what's the term? If it was somebody brings their baggage or their expectations and it didn't play out like that, I'm a bit more dismissive of those. If they're a bit sort of like, it's got to be like this, although if it's more like, oh, I think this was done, this was rushed, or this was weird, or they, like you said, the Palpatine thing, or I kind of get that more, But at the same time, people bring so much of themselves to these movies. I feel like I can't be a dick and be like, well, you shouldn't bring these things to, people invest time and money and blood, sweat and tears and things. So I can't really be dismissive. I can just sort of go, oh, okay, I understand that. I'm sorry. But yeah, at the same time, I guess it's just like, well, I'm sorry, but life goes on. You've got to invest into other things, I suppose. But
Yeah.
I think I want to try and do 1, 2, 3 at some stage, like play them out in a row. And do that, but it was just weird because it was like that kind of came out and people had their feelings one way or the other, and then the Mandalorian finished up like a week later, and absolutely nailed the landing and absolutely finished on a high where pretty much everybody was satisfied. So I think it almost didn't hurt the Rise of Skywalker, but there's been a bit kind of like, oh man, look, they nailed it.
Yeah.
But did you where'd you feel with Mandalorian? It's not even. I assume you've seen it. I know it's not.
I've seen it. Yes. Yes.
I know there's no Disney Plus in the UK yet, but
I flew out to America every week and watched it.
Well done
with the Scruffy guys. No, we obtained it. Yes, loved it. It's brilliant. I talk about this sometimes on Scruffies, but I'm quite easy to please. Like, I don't go in. Just give me like, it's just the visuals and stuff. Like, I love it.
Yeah,
I just get well into it. Like, and
yeah, I'm pretty easy to please too. I don't get too,
yeah.
I kind of go back and I think about like when I saw Phantom Menace for the first time, and that kind of like. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I saw Phantom Menace 9 or 10 times in the cinema, I think.
Brilliant.
And I still enjoy lots about Phantom Menace. Probably even more so. Probably the more I get older, the more I enjoy it now. Anytime I get a chance to go back. But
I absolutely love the Phantom Menace. It's well up there for me, Josh.
Yeah, well, we're about the same age, you and me. So we were both sort of early 20s, late teens when that came out. Like, do you remember the lead up to that? Did the UK? Did you have to wait for it in the UK? Did it come out pretty much straight away?
Well, no, because America got it in May and we didn't get it until July.
Oh, I think we got
but
it
was
June. But that's hard.
It was a big thing at the time because it got the pirate copies were doing the rounds, and it was on the news and everything. I remember it being on the BBC News, and I was like, how do I obtain this? So I was 19. Well, I was 18 because my birthday's in July, so I was 18, and I'm like, how can I get this?
Yeah,
I need it. People have seen it. It's out in the world.
When I first moved to London, in 2005, this was before everybody had, everyone had the internet, but it wasn't like it was harder to download stuff. But you just go, I was living in this big share house in Shepherd's Bush, and people would all go down to the tube station, certain places, and there'd be the blokes with the DVDs, and stuff, handing out someone would come home with this big pile of DVDs and stuff, and that's how we got movies and things. So I think Revenge of the Sith I got from a dude a tube station like a week after it had come out in the UK or something. Like,
Brilliant.
yeah. But did you go? Were you sort of like the hype man? Were you organising the screenings with mates and stuff? Did you wait for the cinema, or did you get a dodgy DVD?
No, I managed to get it. I got a VHS. I heard a friend of a friend of a friend and a friend had got it, and I tracked him down, and I took a 2-hour, because I couldn't drive at the time. I took a 2-hour bus journey from the little village that I lived in at the time into Nottingham city centre, and I got a copy of it, and I paid £20 for it.
Oh,
back in 1999.
Wow,
So that's like 50 quid now.
Yeah,
to an 18-year-old, isn't it? I remember paying £20.
Did it have a cover or anything, or was it just like
no? It's just in the like Sony cardboard box.
Could have been
like,
anything.
It's like, I know. And I remember travelling back on the bus with it inside my coat, just like proper panicking.
Someone mugs you on the bus for your VHS copy of Phantom Menace.
So I got straight home and I watched it in my little room at my mum and dad's on a TV that was like 12 inch big. It's tiny. And I loved it. I was buzzing my head off. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I kept stopping it, and I was like, I've got new Star Wars. This is crazy.
So was it like a handy cam in a cinema kind of thing, or was it a pan and scan, or was it, what was it? It
was like potato cam up until, because there was people getting up. You could see people getting up and going to the toilet at the bottom, up until they arrived on Tatooine. And just as they walk out into Mos Espa, it like, the screen like shook, and then it changed to like a laser disc with Japanese subtitles.
So you got like got an upgrade half. You got the special edition like a third of the way into the film.
Yeah, and then it got subtitles all the way through it, right to the end. But it was like better quality. Yeah, I've still got it as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got a. I think I saw Phantom Menace about 9 times at the cinema, because I was. What year? I was just started university. I might have been first or second year university. So I just had nothing but free time, you got nothing to do. So you just go to the movies whenever you want. And then, a mate of mine who I've had on the show, we've talked about this before, his dad used to travel to Singapore or places, and he got a digital, like a video disc, like a VCD of it or whatever. And we didn't have I don't think I even had a DVD player then. It's 2001. No, I wouldn't have. So I think I put it in my computer's disk drive, and I had one of those big, the big tube screens, and turned it around so I could sort of sit on the bed and sit back and watch Phantom Menace. And it wasn't a particularly great copy, but those are the days really. I mean, like people are just doing screen grabs of stuff. Like one of my pet peeves, you're an artist. My designer, OCD kicks in when people putting GIFs and screen caps from Handycam screenings at the moment. You know what I mean? Like on Twitter.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I can't do it. They've obviously downloaded the shonky copy, and it's just the quality is too garbage. I'm like, save your hot takes and stuff for 1080p, mate.
Yes. Well, the thing that spoiled me beforehand, it was the shot of like the only thing I knew going in. It came up on my Twitter feed, and it looked really dodgy. Like that was from like Potato Cam, and it was just a still of Ray and Ben stood next to each other with the blue sabers. So I knew that was going to happen at some point.
How far out from the film did you see that? Like, was it that week or?
No, it was quite far. It was early November time, I'm sure.
Oh, wow.
Because I threw my phone across the room, like 'cause it came up in my feed. And it was almost like, ah! And then I got angry and like threw my phone, like, no.
I was lucky. I didn't seek anything out, which certainly helps. But like you said, just randomly came up. I was pretty careful. Like my personal feed's pretty well curated, and then the one for the podcast, I barely went in there. Like I go in quickly, promote the podcast, and get out. Like get in, not look at anything. I didn't. It's funny because I talked to people have been following spoilers a lot more hardcore, and then going, we knew about this we knew about Ray Palpatine like in June, July or something like that. And
I know. Bad Motivators boys, they were like all in, weren't they?
It's funny actually. Sort of Eric has sort of said, I kind of wish now I didn't, I hadn't have known going in, but Yeah, it's definitely it's a choice. You gotta live with that. You gotta live with those choices.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be good I'll buy the Blu-ray or the four. I got a 4K. I got an Xbox One X, so I can play 4K. So I'll buy the 4K disc, and hopefully have some good extras and stuff. And I'd like to hear the JJ commentary track. I think that would
Yeah.
be this is a movie that would have potentially a very interesting commentary track.
Yeah, he's not gonna like
Have you
spill it all though, is he?
Have you seen just get slightly off track? Have you seen what's the third Hobbit film called? Battle of Five Armies.
Yes.
Have you seen the extended cut of that?
I I own it.
Well,
I've never made my way through it.
Well, that's actually quite interesting. That's even better because the extras on that, the making of on that, they have those like really detailed behind the scenes.
Yeah. I've watched all the extras, but never made it through the whole extended version of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen the extras. Like, it is how brutally honest Peter Jackson is about that film. He's just like, we completely overextended ourselves. We weren't ready. We basically didn't have a story finished, but we had to get this thing out. And I really, I'm standing on it. You can see where he's standing on a set going, we've got to shoot something. I don't know what we're going to shoot. All right, let's, and then the commentary track's quite the same. It's just like, there was all this stuff I wanted to put in. We couldn't do it. We didn't have a plan. We basically didn't have a plan. The whole thing, we just had to get it out. It's amazing how and he's just like, if I wasn't as experienced as I was, the whole thing would have absolutely fallen in a hole. I know that J.J. Abrams isn't going to do that, but it would be quite interesting if you just got a really candid behind the scenes, commentary or whatever to really figure out where they're at. They're like, hey, we got handed this movie with freaking 18 months to go. We had to start the story from scratch. We had to get all this stuff out, and we're just like laying the tracks while the train's coming, while this release date's coming at us and stuff. But yeah, I like all that. I find all that kind of really candid stuff quite interesting. But I don't.
Oh, I'm well into all that behind the scenes stuff. Those Lord of the Rings documentaries are just incredible on those extended Blu-rays. They're amazing.
Yeah. I'd love to see them do that. I mean, the Last Jedi extras were pretty good. I would like, why not? Last one, give us a warts and all Rise of Skywalker. Bring them all in. Bring everybody in. Bring Colin Trevorrow in. Get him to say some stuff. Because they've been very, they've been very gun shy about sort of, like obviously Rogue One had a lot of reshoots, and then Solo, and then it'd be some potential for some amazing stories there, wouldn't there?
Yeah. It's funny you say, like, just listening to you say that about JJ. It's amazing that he's actually pulled off what he's pulled off in that short amount of time, really, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing,
And
yeah.
It could have been an absolute car crash. I know some people think it is, but it could have been horrific, really, couldn't it, when you think about it like that?
Well, not to mention they had to, they lost a principal actor. They had to work with footage, and so I mean that's what I was saying, that like the real life stuff I forgive a lot of it. Like, I guess you kind of go, oh, the movie, they shouldn't have necessarily done this. They shouldn't have necessarily done this from a movie point of view. Maybe they made it even harder on themselves and stuff. But I haven't really looked at those, because apparently those like alternate scripts came out, the Trevorrow scripts, and have you looked at any of that?
No, I'm not interested.
I kind of breezed over little bits of it, and I went, oh, that seems interesting, or that seems a bit weird, or that seems a bit sort of wacky. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But the thing is, now it's like, it's here, it exists. It's like, love it or leave it. It's just,
That's where I am, Josh. I'm just like, I'm having fun with it, because it's not going to change, is it? So it's part of the.
No.
That's it now.
No. So. Going forward, what are you gearing up for now? Are you sort of like Mando season 2? Are you coming to Celebration? I haven't even. Are you coming to Celebration next year? This year?
Yeah.
This year. Yes.
Yes. Hell yeah, I am.
Great, that's going to be awesome. It's going to be funny because I had Catherine on last week, and we talked about Celebration, going back again and going, like we went over there and we kind of knew people, and we knew a few people a little bit and had relationships, been quite sure how it's going to go down. But this time it feels like like a proper school reunion. You know what I mean? Like
Definitely, yeah, totally.
Hey. But the thing is also, it's like, we had a little core group, and then you kind of met more people as the thing goes on. I feel like this time it's like, oh crap, I hope I have time to see everybody. Like I want to,
I know,
see you guys and see these guys and see these people and spend you want to spend quality time with everyone. And it's a shorter run this time, like it's a day shorter. Like what do you reckon? What do you reckon they're going to have there? Is it going to be all TV?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's Mando 2.
Yeah,
because Mando's just like far exceeded everyone's expectations, hasn't it?
That's the jewel now, isn't it? At the moment.
Yeah. So there'll be Baby Yoda's bloody everywhere.
Yeah.
Mando season 2 will probably be your main panel, and hopefully we get a bit of Cassian. And I'm just pleased, give us Ewan.
Well,
I need Ewan McGregor to be there.
You mean the Obi-Wan show that had been that he had left for about 20 minutes?
Jeepers! I read that before I went into the cinema on Friday night. And I was sat in Starbucks before it started, and that came up on my phone. I was like, no. And I felt awful. Because I bloody love you, McGregor.
It's like we're so close. Don't like, it's working out.
And I got in and I took my seat and the trailers are on and I'm still on my phone like frantic. And I couldn't concentrate on the film for about 20 minutes. And I went to the toilet just to look at my phone to see see if any more news had broke. And then I was like, this is silly, Chris. Come on, just get back into the film. And then when it had finished, I got my phone out and the Brez saved the day and confirmed it wasn't true. So that was awful.
That was like the internet in a nutshell, wasn't it? For like a couple of hours, where it was just this thing just snowballed, and it was like, this thing of people fearing the worst, but also people who want Star Wars to fail, basically just going, look at them fail again, you idiots. Look at the and then it was weird because it all sort of happened while I was asleep, but I sort of got up and was sort of scrolling through my Twitter timeline. So I kind of got the start of it, and then by the time I got to the end of the timeline, it had dispersed. So I probably went through your whole, the time you were in the cinema. And then got to the end, like I said, the Brez came out and just was like, that's nothing. It's like freaking, movie poop shoot or whatever,
movie poop shoot.
It was just, it wasn't even that. It was just like some guy just, and I think there was a tweet going like, oh yeah, I just said it as a joke, and then it just snowballed. It was just that people just fearing the worst, It just didn't make, I don't know, I was still going like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, isn't this thing already been written? Like, creative differences, like, surely they've gone through all these hoops before you got Ewan McGregor up on that stage. I was as if he's just gonna, unless they're getting him to do something totally wacky. I'm just glad.
Yeah, me too.
I don't need that. I want to look forward. I want to look forward to. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see Ewan at Celebration this time. There was all the rumors last year. People were like, oh, we saw him, in a hotel lobby, or we saw him here, and he's going to turn up. And that'd be.
I don't want to get too excited because I thought he was going to bloody come out in that Phantom Menace panel and start doing backflips on stage.
Jumping out of a cake or something.
Yeah. I'd sit and listen to bloody Anthony Daniels pop on about his book again.
Yeah, that was it was funny, that Phantom Menace panel, because it was like, the Rise of Skywalker one was huge, and the Mando one, all sort of stuff, and the excitement for the Phantom Menace one was very much like, I think Ewan McGregor's going to turn up to this thing. Now, or George Lucas is going to turn up.
I remember listening to your pre-show, and you had Turbo on, didn't you? And you guys were all talking about what was going to happen, what you're excited. And I remember Turbo saying, Phantom Menace panel, I think that's going to be the one, that's going to be the best one of the weekend. I think Ewan's going to be there. And I got dead excited. And I was honestly, I'm dead gullible, I am. I take it all in.
Hey, look, at least it wasn't apparently the Galaxy's Edge one was the tough sit. So I'd heard that was a tough sit. But anyway, we'll just have to see how we go on the panels, just like if they do the lottery again and all that kind of stuff. But it's sort of, I don't know, like it just kind of seems secondary now that you get to go and just hang out with your mates, basically, and kind of go, well, panels, either or nah, you'd be able to get into something maybe, and just generally have a good time. So, are you are you with the Scruffy boys officially this time? Are you in the
Yes,
Scruffy bunkhouse? You guys got a little cabin somewhere or a couple of
yeah,
bunk beds?
yeah. We've got an Airbnb, Scruffy Pad. It's a 10-minute walk from the convention centre and a 10-minute walk from Disneyland.
You must be right near us then. I'll have
So
to.
we're bang in the middle.
Yeah, right. Well, you must be right near us because we're right near Disneyland, the convention center as well. So
Awesome.
we get closer to the logistics will start. Like we'll do a little map of like, all right, these guys are there.
Yeah.
These guys are here, and then you draw the lines. You're like, all right, this bar is right in between all of us, and we'll all.
We've got a massive garden as well, like a massive lawn with a hot tub as well. So
we've got a hot tub at ours as well.
Brilliant.
All these bloody Californians in their hot tubs, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be a different vibe, isn't it? Because it'll be hot. People just have beer sitting in the yard, and
it's not going to be snowing.
Yeah, that was the last time I'd seen snow before Chicago was being in England. It was funny because I was just on my phone before we started, and I was just scrolling through, and I'm a Chelsea football fan, and they had some highlights from this Chelsea game from 2013 I went to. It was Chelsea-Arsenal, and it snowed the whole time. And I just remember sitting out, like normally I sit under cover, and it was one of the only times I had a seat that wasn't under cover. I was like in the second row. I was just going, this will be like worst case, it'll be a bit of snow, but it's Chelsea Arsenal, it'll be packed. I'll have a bunch of blokes, big burly blokes in their jackets all around me. And I remember sitting down and there was like 4 empty seats all around me. I was sitting in the second row. I got snowed on for 90 minutes, and that was the last time I'd been that badly snowed on until I went to Chicago, and that was next level. The Australians, we weren't equipped for that.
Yeah, it's all right. We didn't mind it.
Did you get a hat? Did I give you a hat last time, or I'd run out by the time?
No, I've got one.
You got one. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was just checking. When I periodically have people on, from Celebration, they're like, "Did you get a hat?" Someone's like, "Yeah," and someone's like, "Nah, you'd run out by the time." I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Sorry. There's always next time. Now we're getting close to winding this up, but we'll work towards that. Now we should just. I should give you a little personal thanks because you did an awesome thing where you sold off your art and donated to the bushfire funds here in Australia, which was very, very good of you. I'm sure everybody knows that the bushfire stuff's been pretty full on here in Australia, and we've had family and stuff who've been affected personally, and Plate Malakuta where we would holiday. My family still holidays had Armageddon hit basically, and people had to be evacuated on ships and things. It was all quite full on, and Chris here very, very generously threw up some, his store and his artwork, and said, "Hey, buy some stuff and I'll chuck in a profit." So I mean, it's we don't need to sort of plug it anymore. Really, I just want to give you a personal thanks for that because that was very generous of you. Really, really appreciate that. What's next for the store? Is it getting bigger and better things? Have you have a plan this year of stuff that you want to do? You want to knock over?
Yeah, I've got a rough plan. Open to because I've started getting a few bits in actual shops in the UK.
Awesome.
So I'm hoping to branch out on that a bit more. I was doing like the past couple of years. I've been doing Comic Cons.
Yeah, nice. Do you do comics as well? Have you ever done comic art?
No, I've never done done a comic art. No, but I've been having like stalls and stuff selling all my prints and everything at the Comic Cons. But they've got that big now and that popular over here. That it's just people just want to go and buy Funkos. and meet their favourite celebrities.
Yeah, the artist kind of gets. Yeah,
I can't. I'm not in a position to buy like 5 tables in a row and have massive banners everywhere. And
yeah, of course,
I'm just kind of in a corner, like a quiet little voice, like trying to shout. So I've knocked that on the head, and I'm going to concentrate more online.
Yep,
and hopefully get some more stuff out into retail. So
awesome. I know it seems to be a typical thing here as well that sort of our cons aren't anywhere as big as sort of like the American ones, but it's sort of like, the artists all get kind of shoved up one end of the thing, and it's a lot of pops and action figures and meet some dude from Stargate or we don't get very big people out here. The Comic Con. There's an Oz Comic Con they do here in Melbourne, which is actually pretty good, but it's always on a long weekend. We're always away, so I never go. Like we're always away with family and stuff. So I feel like I probably should go just for the podcast and hand some stickers out and stuff. I'm like, who could be who could be bothered?
Yeah,
really? My daughter's a bit older now. I might take her this year.
Oh, I'd take my daughter. She loves it.
Yeah, does she dress up?
Yeah, she's dressed up a few times. She's big into Stranger Things at the minute.
Ah, yeah.
That's the thing at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, she always comes along. But it's cons have gone crazy here. There's one like every other weekend, up and down the country. And because a lot of the actors from the original trilogy
are in Britain,
they're all British, so they're all there like all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Just show up.
I met Warwick the other week.
Oh,
it was awesome.
You? Yeah, nice. Yeah. So did you do? Was that like an autograph thing or a photo or?
I did both,
nice.
But like I pre-booked the autograph and the photo, and then when I went for the autograph first, and I took some artwork with him, and I gave him some prints and some stickers, and he was dead into it, and he was like asking me all about it because his daughter does her own stuff, and then he called her over because she was there as well, because she was in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. With him, and we were chatting away, and he was like, "Do you want a photo?" And I was like, "Oh, I bloody paid for one in about an hour." he let me take a selfie on my phone, and I could have saved myself a few bob coins.
So you saw him again like an hour, like, "Oh, g'day again. Let's let's do another one."
It was funny actually because when I because I like connected with him at his table and like talked about my artwork. When you queue up for the photos, it's a bit rubbish. It's a bit just like a line. Do you know what I mean?
Heard that, yeah.
You're in and out. You get more time when you go to the table and get an autograph. And he wasn't really like connecting with anyone. But when I walked around the corner and it's like in his voice, he was like, "Here he is, the artist."
That's a very good Warwick Davis, actually.
So I was made up. I was chuffed to bits with that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I guess that's. Like now is that post Rise of Skywalker too, so we can actually talk a bit about like
No, that was before.
Was it before? Right. So
yeah, because when we were queuing up for him, we were talking to his daughter Annabelle, and Kev was there with me, and Kev was he was saying, "Oh, are you in Rise of Skywalker?" And she was like, "No, I was on another job, but my brother is." And Kev was like, "What about your dad?" And she went, and like quickly changed the subject. So yeah,
it must be tricky like that, where it's just like, I can't say anything. I really want to, but I can't say anything. What a nice little tag on that, getting to hang out with Warwick Davis. You see him again the next one, and take him some more stuff. And yeah, I've never done the autograph thing. I feel like if Diego Luna turns up at Celebration this year, we might have to go with Catherine while she gets a photo. Might have to help her. Might have to help her stand.
Someone will have to go help her through it.
Yeah, but hopefully that'll happen. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like I said, Celebration for me is just catching up. It's just gonna be like school reunion basically. It's a good year for it to be that. It's not gonna be like the movie. It's not gonna dominate.
Yeah.
Like Mando 2 will be exciting and stuff, but we already kind of we know what to expect now. And then we'll just see if there's more Star Wars, what this next Star Wars is going to be. Supposedly they were going to announce it in January, but we're in January. I haven't seen anything, so
no, yeah,
they'll do it when they do it. I guess we'll just we just have to wait and see what we get given. So what's before we sign off here, mate? What's Scruffy Podcasters? Tell everybody about those scruffy looking podcasters. What you're all about.
So we are the Scruffy Looking Podcasters, as you've said. It's me and Kev, two Englishmen, and there's Jimmy and Ed, two Americans. So if you're interested in listening to scruffy idiots confuse each other with cultural differences and not being able to understand what each other is saying, It's quite funny. It's
A
not
lot
safe
of
for
like,
work,
we're
but
talking English, you idiot. You're,
yeah,
we're talking the Queen's English. Da, 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 da. Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of that. Because me and Kev are in the same room together when we record, so it's got a real fun dynamic.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. I really enjoy it. When like I said, I'm a bit behind at the moment, but I do like the dynamic. It's always I don't think I could do like you managed to. Same with the motivators. I guess they got 3, but when you got 4, like you got to get those dynamics right. Like it can easily sort of tip over pretty quick if you can't quite get it right. But you guys, I think the fact you and Kev are in the room together as well really helps. Because you've got that. It almost feels like it's 2 people almost because you've got these 2. The Brits and the Yanks kind of thing. But awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing some more cool stuff from you guys this year. Obviously, we'll see you at Celebration. What's the address of the store, mate? Is it just Chris Hall Artist? Just Google that.
That's
Or are there a lot of Chris Hall artists out there?
Yeah, nothing's consistent, and it really winds me up. So I'm on Twitter, I'm Chris Hall Artist, Instagram, Chris Hall Illustration. You can find links to my Etsy store through both those places. But if you want to go to Etsy and just search Black Sheep Rebellion, all one word, then you'll find me.
Awesome. And get some stuff because stuff is great. I am going to get a original print to put up in the study. It is going to happen. I've got some. We can take this discussion offline. I might even commission you to get something done because I've got these big ass frames that I want to put something cool in. So I might, tap you on the shoulder and get some official work. We can talk about that later on and get that all sorted. But thanks so much, dude. We've just been so overdue of doing this, of getting this chat in. We talked about it. God, I feel like the week after Celebration, I talked about getting you on. I'm pretty sure, saying goodbyes at Celebration, yeah, we'll get you on the podcast. We'll do this, and it's just, life gets in the way, and it's always tricky with the time zones. But let's get you on sooner rather than later again.
Awesome, brilliant,
awesome, man. All right, well, you can find our stuff at StarWarsSpelledOut.com, TeePublic for t-shirts, all that kind of thing. Thanks so much, dude. An absolute pleasure.
No worries.
Catch you soon.
Cheers, Josh. Laters.
See ya.